Good morning, everyone. This is Cameron Lake on Vancouver Island, and I've been enjoying a dawn hike and now just a dawn sit and chill. Well, it's not dawn anymore, it's about 7:30, and this is a perfectly beautiful, peaceful place for me. This is one of my happy places that I enjoy going to, the big trestle above Cameron Lake. Here's the big picture map for today's hike on Vancouver Island off the west coast of British Columbia. Red circle is the rough area of my hike. Here's a closer look at the region. My hike is on the north shore of Cameron Lake, right in the middle of that map. That rough red line is my hike along the ENN Railway. Here's the railway map showing the northeast shore of Cameron Lake, and the red X in bottom right hand side is my starting point along Highway 4, right near the Little Qualicum River railway bridge. X on the left hand side is my turnaround point, which is the west end of the big trestle, mile 14.6. And the middle X is the mile 13.7 trestle, which is also an interesting one, and I spend a bit of time there on my way back. That trestle is also where I start this video at about 5:30 a.m. And here I've arrived at the miles 13.7 trestle. The last time I was here was late December. It's good to be back. It's great to be out here at dawn. Okay, so time to walk carefully. I go this way, and I'm on top of the stringer beam, which is the really strong beam that runs parallel to the trestle that supports this deck. That's pretty. I'm going to stop here for a photograph. Set up for a photograph like this. A little bit of cloud above the lake, which is really pretty. I'll go on the shredded side here. Here's where someone decided to jump up and down on the fire barrel platform and ruin it. It was already pretty weak before that, but all it takes is a bit of goofing around and it's gone. This is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This is pretty much how I remember it. Okay to carefully walk. I love this trestle. It's old. It's fun to walk across on. See, these are the stringers, these beams that my feet are on right there. Here's the little bit of land between these two trestles. And a look back. Nice. Alright, let's continue. This one is milepost 13.8. It's really similar to the previous one, just shorter. And after this, a quick walk through the broom weeds to the best trestle of the bunch in terms of condition. That's mile 14. Simple, straight, easy to walk, but no spectacular view. Alright, mile 14.0. Straight, simple trestle, fabulous deck, relatively speaking, compared to the others. And I just continue working my way for another 0.6 of a mile, about 15 minutes of walking to the big trestle. And then I'll enjoy that for an hour or two. Good place of peace and relaxation for me. I'm almost at the big trestle. This area here always makes me happy because of that. I'm glad to almost be at a place that is really beautiful to me and interesting, and is a go-to place for me just to feel peace and joy, tranquility, all that good stuff. On my way driving here to the trailhead, I figured out this will be my 6th time, number 6, visiting this trestle. 3rd time in the spring. I really love it. Just like seeing an old friend again. Gets a little bit older like us, a little bit more fallen apart like us, but still just packed with just a happy place. Beauty. I'm going to take some nice shots with the going this way with the lake. I love the lake in the morning. Every time that I visit this trestle, I take a photograph from the location I was just at, looking down this way, just because it's so darn beautiful. Okay, let's walk the length of the trestle. I'm using vertical mode, not because I'm uncouth, but I want to show the condition of the ties. And I like wide angle on my phone with this because you can see the end of the trestle, bit of the lake, so you can see where we're going and you can see where we currently are. And you can see it when I do this. I got the stringer below me. That's the long, thick beam that runs parallel to the trestle. That's what is strong. The ties above it, the wooden pieces that run perpendicular, are the ones that are being all chewed up and rotting. So I like to have the stringer below me. I also love being here on the side of the deck with the lake view. There's the stringer. You can see nice and easy. This is my happy place. This is what I do when I want to feel peace, enjoyment, joy, tranquility, happiness, all that kind of good stuff. This right here, one of my go-to places. And at dawn, it's just magnificent. This is exactly what I need for my mental and physical health right now. Here's a side view of the trestle from the area that I'm just about to walk down, taken from the refuge bay where my camera tripod was. So this gives you an idea of height, and I'm very comfortable walking on this type of trestle. It's what I enjoy doing. It's not for everyone, obviously, but for me, I like it. And when it's like this, so much the better. Oh yeah. One thing I've learned just in the 2 years of following these ENN trestles obsessively is that the situations are always changing, especially here on the Port Alberni subdivision, where they're just gradually falling apart a bit more and more at a time. And bottom right hand corner here, last time I was here, was a fire barrel platform refuge base structure. There used to be 6 on this trestle, and now there's 5 of them that are remaining up. This one we knew was going to fall, and the bones of it are just right there. These fire barrel platforms seem to be what falls off first. It's kind of sad, but yet inevitable of the continual changing landscape and condition of the trestles. Oh yeah, my happy place. Some coffee, sitting on the rails. When I'm on the trestle, I don't really worry about wildlife. I'm up above the land, and ignore my finger there, sorry. I just feel comfortable, safe. That little bit of moss on the corner of the water barrel platform just adds such a beautiful splash of color. Gosh, that's gorgeous. This is a place I could just sit at. I'm probably going to sit here for about an hour. Just enjoy life. It's about 6:15 a.m. Perfect time on a Sunday morning. Life is good. I am thankful for places like this. Just following this truck. And now, just over 2 hours after I arrived at this big trestle at mile 14.6, I'm going to head on back. Had fun doing some photography, some videography walking on the trestle, and just sitting and contemplating life right here in the spot I'm at. Right there with my feet on the edge, or not the edge, the safe edge of the platform, sitting my butt down on a rail right there. It's a great way to spend a couple hours on a Sunday morning, nice and peaceful. And now it's time to head on back. If I just walked it straight, it's what is it? It's 2.2 miles, so that's about an hour of walking. And we'll see if it takes me a bit longer, if I stop and do some photographs at the mile 13.7 trestle, which is also interesting with a nice view. And what else happens? I get to fight my way carefully through some tall broom, make sure I don't get ticks onto me, Ticks are dangerous. Beautiful. This fire barrel platform gives us an idea of what it's structured like. There are 4 of the ties that extend out, and then basically some cross plywood board, whatever you want to call that. So if I were to walk out on it, I would keep my feet and weight on the beams that jut out and not on the in-between. I wonder which fire barrel platform will be the next to fall. These trestles are always changing. Next time I am here is likely October. I'll try to time it for the autumn leaves, fall colors, and see how it's changed then. And here comes the mile 14 trestle, the nicest one of the 4 above Cameron Lake. Nice in terms of condition, but not much of a view, and just simple straight. I like it. You emerge out of the broom, and there it is. Here at the west end of the trestle is a nice spot just for the view. And hey, if people want to camp, this is a great spot for that. Meet some friends that are cougars probably, but hey, that's alright. Angel Rock is almost right across. Okay. Let's resume. What's above? Oh yeah, all at the top. What I'm standing on here, the open area with a landslide going down, is easily visible from Highway 4. I always see this, note this, and note that it's just west of the mile 14 trestle. This is a nice trestle. Okay, let's cross mile 14 with a wide angle phone camera. There's the flanger sign telling you that there's an obstruction ahead, which is the Jordan rail for the mile 13.8 trestle, and then immediately after that 13.7. Once again, we emerge out of the broom and find ourselves at a trestle. This time it's a double. Here we go, 13.8 in the foreground, mile 13.7 trestle in the background with the curve. That's what it looks like. These are the ones I was speculating at earlier this morning about being extra chewed up recently. I don't necessarily think it's been all that recent. I think it's always been this bad, but I'll get a better look at the next one close up in nice daylight. Okay, so once again I'm going to cross this and use my phone camera with the wide angle in dreaded vertical mode so that you can see where I'm stepping and where I'm going. Okay, let's cross the mile 13.8 trestle. Carefully, keeping my feet above the stringers. Oh yeah, that's what that looks like. But we walk on the stringers, above the stringers. And this is such a little trestle. It's a little gully. Yeah, it's a steep gully, but it is nothing. This is simple. Well, simple for me because I really enjoy this. Aha, we're on land again. The brief bit of land between these two trestles. Okay, now let's walk across the mile 13.7 trestle. You don't focus on that because you can walk on the side. Here's an example of the stringers. See, I'm right on them. Really strong beam. There were two fire barrel platforms in the era now that I've been coming here, which is the last 2 years. Here's one of them. Gives us a chance to look back and see where we are. Okay, on this fire barrel platform. Let's continue. Yeah, I'm on the stringer, above the stringer. Make that into a drinking game. Every time I've said that, take a shot. So you want to go in the middle. It's a little bit freakier. Especially like this. Yeah, like this. Then you end up with something like this. So here's the trestle. So now examining it for recent damage. I mean, this is the pathway here where it looks like a wheel might have gone. However, the spikes can't be all that great for tires. Spikes that are coming out. To me, this doesn't look any different than it was last time I was here in December and in the previous couple years, other than just the general deterioration and that fire barrel platform being knocked off in the last year. But that's just me, my guess. Certainly motor vehicles going across, whether it's side-by-side, ATV, motorbike, does chew up the wood that's already soft and part rotted. It's just not what that wood was designed for. The wood was designed to hold up railway rails, which it is doing, but it's being compromised. Let me show you what the stringers are like. that is. Not just thick, it's pretty wide. And it's the same thing I'm standing on right here. Just goes all the way through there. Yeah, gives you an idea. Walking down maybe mile 13.5 or so. There's a place where some extra rail stockpiled. Wasn't in the woods when it was stockpiled, but the trees have grown back. Some more rail in there. A common sight beside any railway. Here's a little clearing or place beside the line. So we head on back. There's a bunch of tie plates or joiners or something. Some type of metalwork piles in there. Again, a common scene beside any railway. Only difference is this is kind of a time capsule from when it was last being maintained. And a bunch of grease buckets. This probably should have been cleaned up. That's not too... there's no point in leaving stuff like that there, even when the railway was being used. As much as I love railways and railway history, there's always things I encounter that just don't jive with my beliefs or ethics, and leaving a bunch of junk like those old metal buckets is one of those things. I can understand rails because you're going to use those, but buckets, that's garbage. The other thing, of course, that doesn't jive with my beliefs is just how, when railways were constructed over 100 years ago, how things like First Nations land was treated, or better said, ignored. How people were just abused and taken advantage of, like cheaper labor from other parts of the world, such as Asia. Safety conditions, all that kind of stuff. There's always a part of history that it's like, I don't like that part, but I'm still fascinated by the overall railway history. It's just, I've learned that there's going to be things that make me cringe because it was a different era and we can do a whole lot better now. A wise person once told me, yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy whatever historical thing is that you're looking at, studying, or walking through, but always remember the people that were involved and the people that were taken advantage of and the people that were harmed and killed, as well as the good things. How's that for going off on a tangent while I'm walking a tangent track? I find interesting, thoughtful ideas everywhere I go, everything I do. That's who I am. I like to research, think about it, muse about it, and vlog about it. After like 12 times walking by, I finally noticed this. East End Track Gang, ENN Railway Division of the Canadian Railway Historical Association. Those guys are awesome. They care about this subdivision. They've done an amazing amount of work over the years. They've put up with a lot of garbage, as well as just pushing through, doing what they love. They are good people. I honor them. As I get close to milepost 13, here is the west end of the Cameron Lake siding. End of rail chopped off here. The switch stuff was removed and it's back here somewhere. Yeah, it's just right through here. It's the rails for the switch. So apparently the west switch here was removed after a derailment relatively late in the game. And so the siding is right beside me, right through there. Of course, the siding is much more in the open, just around the corner, where it opens up into a little field, just opposite of where the Cameron Lake train station and chalet once were. I kind of like the hidden in the trees aspect. The mile 13 post was around 10 years ago. I've seen photos of it, but no longer visible. It was somewhere around here. In fact, I think that's the post. And we're coming to the site of the Cameron Lake Water Tower. The old concrete foundations of the water tower are now used for the rails to be laying on there. I usually come by here when I'm walking westbound in the dark, as it was this morning, well, dawn. So now I get to see what things really look like. And here's where it opens up into the field. There's the siding in plain view. I'm walking in the footsteps of Leonard Frank, other historical photographers that saw this back in the day. Station name sign. Never quite figured out what these cars are doing here, whether they actually were fire cars at one point and just never got removed. I'm guessing that's what it is. Here's the east end of the Cameron Lake siding switch stand. This switch stand I always like because when I'm coming westbound, usually in dark or early part of dawn, I get to see the reflection, the green reflection, and then there's a reflection down by the padlock, the reflector. So that's what I see. Lets me know where I am on this little short stretch between Little Qualicum River and the Cameron Lake siding. This is probably a good time to mention the obvious, that the recent brushing work done by the Gradall machine and then also done by a contractor team has not been here. So it went as far from Parksville to the McBay Creek Bridge around mile 12.3 or so. And then when I was here at the end of February, or back at the far end of Cameron Lake, I saw that it went to about mile 16.5 or so, coming in from the west. So there still is a gap from about mile 12.3 to about mile 16.5 with no brushing done. Part of that's inaccessible behind those bad trestles. And as you saw a bit of today, or maybe not, the broom is quite bad, and it gets worse when you get past the big trestle. Here comes the trail to Wesley Ridge here, very popular. I just passed by two hikers heading up the Wesley Ridge Trail. Yeah, that is very popular. Most of the people that park at this roadside parking lot by Little Qualicum River and McBay Pipeline Creek are going up Wesley Ridge. The sound of the river, Little Qualicum River, which drains Cameron Lake. As usual, when I started, I was the only vehicle in this area, and now we're not quite full, but there are more. It's a Sunday.